It's a Flashcard Friday. I got a pile of random topics about the Celtics from you. We're going to answer them without knowing what they are in advance right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT Karalis. Recap the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Deb and D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started. Raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day, and your team is the Boston Celtics. I talk about them every day right here, Monday through Friday for the rest of this month, 3 days a week for August and September, then back to 5 days a week for the rest of the season, the entire season, and all of that. So make sure you're subscribed. Wherever you get your podcast, it's free everywhere. It's on YouTube. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts with me. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've been doing a version of covering the Celtics for 20 years now. I've also written a couple of books, so I just love talking about the Boston Celtics. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Today, this is how it works. I got flashcards. I asked you for I got the whole pile. Put it there you go. That's what they sound like for people listening on the podcast. I draw them randomly, and I will answer them along with Tom Westerholm. Tom is celebrating a birthday today. Everybody sing along. Happy birthday.
No. Now you'll get charged a lot of money. Don't do that.
No, it's free now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. But we got to make it. So, but if just in case, we got to make sure that maybe we just make up a song. It's like, hey, it's your birthday and you're getting older now, but not as old as me. But I'm going to pretend we're the same age because I've got issues. Hey, Tom.
Hey, thanks, man.
All right. We got to get started because somebody complained about skipping 5 minutes into the show to get things. We're no longer allowed to have fun, Tom. So I'm going to shut up.
They cry about it.
So. People these could be anything. There are random topics in here, serious Celtics topics, random fun Celtics topics. I don't know I did write them down, but I don't know what's coming up. So we draw them, and here we go right away. Jayson Tatum's wrist. Interesting topic. It's a recurring thing. Obviously, he's recovering a lot, for 8, 9, 10 months, maybe more. The Achilles injury. The wrist, I've seen that wrist wrapped, I don't know, almost every day of his career for the past 3 years, it feels like. No notice of any surgery on the wrist. It feels like it's one of those things that it will never heal during the season if he hurts it. I don't know if it's the same thing that keeps getting hurt, but as far as I know, I see him working out. He posts the videos. He's got like the kettlebells and he's using them, and it feels like the wrist seems okay. Any concern about the wrist, Tom?
No, and in fact, I think that that's kind of. I mean, there's not many positives to like an injury like the one he suffered, but like if you wanted to kind of look at a little bit of a silver lining, it's like, well, hey. Last year, right, he spent the entire season playing basketball, and then he spent the entire summer playing basketball, and then he spent the entire season again playing basketball. And if any ding to your wrist, you weren't getting a lot of time off. He wasn't getting a lot of time off to let that thing heal up at all. I think that there is, even these guys who are so optimized to do physical things. Everybody's got a thing like an area on their body that's troublesome sometimes, right? Like for me, it's my left knee. Like it sucks. Hate my left knee, but it is what it is. And like everybody's got stuff like that. So for Tatum, it might, the wrist might just be something that's troublesome. But I think that when he comes back, that is one kind of nice thing is like, hey, that wrist has a whole year almost to recuperate, like a lot of time to kind of rest and not actually play basketball. So
I would love it if there is if a doctor was like, hey, look, we could operate, we could not operate. Like just if there is any, just do it now. Just do it. Let it heal. We haven't heard anything. Everything he said is like it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just going to take his word for it. People around him probably would say the same thing. Like, look, dude, you're already healing, one thing, just to heal the other thing. And then like, let's just move on. So, but as of right now, no
Counterpoint,
concerns.
and I have no idea if this is how this works because I am not a doctor. Do you want your body trying to heal two different things at the same time, or do you want your body really, I don't know, if focused, whatever, on the massive injury that could be career altering?
I understand that. I feel like the body will get around, especially Jayson Tatum's body can heal two things at once.
Probably.
All right, moving on. Pritchard's passing. Payton Pritchard's passing of the basketball. People love to say, "Oh, Pritchard's passing." Oh, I didn't know he was sick. Payton Pritchard's passing ability is, we don't think of him as a passer. He's a shooter. I see him as a shooter, a scorer, a bucket getter, as it were. He has improved tremendously on his drives, but he has, I think, improved his passing. One of the things this upcoming season will have to be like an improved passing ability for Pritchard. So I think in his crazy summer workouts where he's, guys are bleeding all over the place. Apparently, if you follow his social media, part of that's going to have to be like understanding the openings that you create aren't always going to be for yourself. Like this is going to have to be like the best year of Pritchard's career if the Celtics are going to get a lot of these wins that we were talking about yesterday. So passing, look, anybody on that team right now that can become a draw multiple players and find open guys kind of player, that would help because it's Jaylen who can do it. Derek who can definitely do it. If Pritchard can be a third guy who does it, then that just improves. Luka Garza looks a lot better. These guys on the perimeter, whoever ends up out in the perimeter, Hauser, Shireman, those guys all end up looking better.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Because it's like the things like Pritchard is such a workaholic, and you like the things that he has improved and the things that he has worked on so much are like the things that like, you can do obsessively on your own because like you can't find anybody to do a 6th hour of workouts with you, right? So it's like he's got this like incredibly tight handle. He is a really great shooter. It's like passing is something that like it's hard to work on passing on your own. You can't really do it. You have to passing has to come. So it's just kind of funny to me that he's this guy who like, is just in his garage, just, dribbling, and, his passing not necessarily one of his biggest strengths. I think that it will be fine. I mean, he hoops all the time, and like he's been a point guard his whole life. Like he'll be fine, I think. But yeah, I mean, the things that show with him are the things that he's been able to just work and obsessively work on, even when nobody else is in the building.
Yeah, it's that's something that definitely comes from playing. You have to scrimmage. You can work on shooting drills. You can work on dribbling drills, like you said. You got to scrimmage, and I'm sure he will. But the only thing I'll lean on is Jayson Tatum, obviously, who is a much better player, but Tatum was not a passer.
Yeah.
And has become a really good passer. I mean, he's still, I don't think if you're not a passer by nature, I think passing is kind of like almost like musical ability. Like a lot of people can learn music, but there's the people who feel the music are like the superstars, right? So Luka, his passing is just because he feels it, right?
Yeah.
He's LeBron feels it. Like these guys who really can set up, those guys feel it. You can still become a good passer, but like I can pick up the piano and be like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out and be okay. But there are some people who are like, oh, it's like the Charlie Kelly, in Always Sunny, where he's, I don't know if anybody remembers the scene where he's like, oh yeah, man, keyboards, I just get them, man. They speak to me. Like that's a different level.
Yeah. Well, but I will say, I think that one of the most impressive, I know this was supposed to be a Pritchard passing thing, but one of the more impressive things about Tatum's passing improving the way it has is that he's gotten a lot closer to that savant level passing than most people can get without that gene, right?
Yeah,
Like he's
sure, yeah.
He's gotten so much closer to that.
Yeah.
It's very impressive because, yeah, I mean, his passing, yeah, sure, it's not that kind of instinctive, like Mozart, Beethoven type passing, but it's closer than you would expect.
Well, here, my final point about that will be, I think it's just teaching Tatum, hey, you've created these openings. Here's something else you can do with it. He is elite at creating the openings and creating situations. This is just like, hey, just do all the same stuff you do, except understand, like, if you tweak what you do this way and just do what you normally do, but just push it in this direction, you can now see the floor and you can now make these plays. And, instead of crossing over and splitting the double team, you take a dribble back, draw the double team, and now you've got openings. So, like, just take all the stuff that you do, all the attention you get, and just, instead of A, do B, and another world opens up for you. And so I think that's what makes it. And look, Pritchard to a lesser degree, I think, can get there. Same concept, same everything. It's just not the same talent level. But yeah, I think he has the ability to do that. All right.
For sure.
Let's head into the break. We'll chew on this question here. Best fits. Oh, that's this is best fits for the Celtics in the draft. That we'll pass that.
Hugo
Gonzalez. All right, let's go like
and
this.
I think wild card Amari Williams.
Could be. Watch out for that kid Max Shulga. I think he'd be a good fit. All right, let's do this one. Jayson Tatum versus Jaylen Brown's shoes. Let's do a little shoe debate when we come back on the Locked On Celtics podcast. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is going to let you get into the building at the last minute. You just said, hey, you know what? I do want to go see the Red Sox game, or maybe a team that you're not a Red Sox fan, but you're in Boston and your favorite other team is coming into town, or a player you like to go see, or maybe you just want to go to a concert, a comedy show, a play, anything. If there's tickets and they're on sale online, Game Time can get you in with great price. I have used Game Time multiple times. I've said a bunch. I have gone to Red Sox games. When the Celtics were playing in New York, I went to a New York Liberty game last second, hey, let's see what's going on tonight. Boom, got it. I saw the view from my seat. I saw that it was a great deal. I knew everything going in was going to be perfect. And it was great. Game Time has last minute tickets and zone deals for big savings, like 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA World Cup matchups. So go check that out. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA. LOCKED, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out the Locked On NBA feed, Locked On NBA Game Night Fridays. That's this podcast. I'm recording that podcast after we're done here. After Summer League, Cooper Flagg's Summer League debut. That's going to be a big topic on Locked On NBA Game Night with me and Jake Madison. So if you're interested in Cooper Flagg's debut and wild, massive overreactions, he's either going to be a complete bust or the greatest things in sliced bread. I don't think there's any in between. So check us out there on the Locked On NBA Game Night podcast. I have a feeling, Tom, that this Cooper Flagg kid's going to be okay.
He's going to be pretty good.
I think he's going to be okay.
I think he might have a good summer league. I
mean, we're the only ones bold enough to go there.
Shout out to the people writing it and asking us, like, do you guys think Cooper Flagg is going to be good? Because it really sets us up to
make these bold takes.
That's right.
Let's get bold about shoes.
Yeah.
Jayson Tatum's Air Jordans versus Jaylen Brown's what does he call those things? I should know. The 741. What's the Rovers? Yes.
Rovers, yeah.
Yeah, the Rovers. Do you have a preference on either? I've not worn either shoe.
So that was what I was going to put that massive disclaimer on this, that I can't say that I like have any experience with either of them. I don't know. I've thought about getting Tatum's shoes. And I actually saw a deal on them recently that made me consider it even more. But so I might be able to report back at some point. I will say though, I think I know it's not technically DIY, but like the more DIY aesthetic of Jaylen's shoes makes them a little cooler to me. I think I like the way Tatum's look more, but I just like, if you're putting one up against the other, listen, I personally, I think like that whole big baller brand thing scared me away from like player created shoes.
Yeah,
where I'm like, I think I'll just get the Nikes that I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Sure.
But I like, the concept of like, hey, I want to make my own shoes. I want to do my own thing. Like, I'm with it. I think that's cool.
Yeah. So obviously the Tatums are more polished. They have teams of multi-million, it's the Jordan brand, right? So there's, I think like it's I've always liked like the crazy looking shoes.
Yeah.
I had the Sean Kemp Kamikazes. They had a similar aesthetic to the Jayson Tatum shoes. So there's some of that that's drawn me to it. So yes, the aesthetic I think is cleaner there. I think Jaylen, this is a first attempt, and I'm looking for, as it progresses, like the second or third version is going to be, I think, a much cleaner, nicer look. So they're still finding themselves there. All I can tell you is the people like Jaylen gave Pritchard before he signed with Converse. He wore those, and he's like, I asked him, privately, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, right? When he was saying like, oh, they're really comfortable. I really like them. He wore them without getting paid to wear them. So he liked them. A couple of guys on the team, like Jordan Walsh, was wearing them. So the guys who have worn them, the people I've seen talk about wearing them, like they're comfortable. They're legit. So I think, and the same thing about the Tatums, because Tatums, I do know that they have like almost like a little suspended between the sole and the bottom. There's like a little kind of cushion there. So I think that helps the foot kind of move. The technology involved in all of these sneakers is so crazy that I remember the crap that I used to wear, when I was playing, and it's like, that, which was miles ahead of the Converse, Chuck Taylors that the guys used to wear in the NBA. But I think aesthetically, I'm leaning Jayson Tatum, but I do applaud Jaylen for, taking it on himself and making like a kid's version of the shoe much cheaper. So I'm looking forward to see where that goes. I'm just a big fan of Jaylen Brown, kind of like showing like you can do this yourself and empowering, and he's having a great summer throughout Boston, doing a lot of work at MIT and just showing kids like you can be your own entrepreneur and do it yourself. So I appreciate it.
I think it's cool too to have kind of his own, he's doing his own thing. You know what I mean? Like it's very much like, hey, any guy, like a lot of players are going to go out and get their own signature shoe, get like, the dream is to get your own signature shoe, get colorways, get all this stuff. Like, yeah, you could do all that stuff. And like, I don't know if Jaylen would get a signature shoe. I don't know if he was like signed to Nike or Adidas or something, but hey, like you can just kind of do it your own way. Like, I don't know. I think that's cool. So.
Yeah. Just so people who've seen me on the video, I did burn a card. It's with Celtics draft strategy. Of course, that never made it in before the draft. Now, all of a sudden, after the draft, we're getting all the draft questions. Okay. This is a good one. Long-term future center. I don't know that the long-term future center exists on this team right now. I don't think, look, I'm going to leave open the possibility that the Celtics hit on Amari Williams just because we haven't seen it. I'm not going to hold out too much hope for the bottom of the second round, but also we've seen a lot of great players and useful players get picked there. So I'm not going to just write him off.
Sure.
Is he the long-term answer at center? I don't know. We're going to start to see if that's the case. But my feeling is that they're still on the search. They're still going to have to figure out who their long-term future center is. Is it a trade? One of the big things that I think coming out of the second apron is when the Celtics get far enough underneath, now you can bring back more salary and you can aggregate players in trades. So if Anthony Simons does get moved, you can put Simons and Niang and another salary together to match. Now, is that going to be enough to get a player of starting center caliber? I don't know. I think Anthony Simons went for Drew Holiday for a reason. No disrespect to Drew, but a 36-year-old guard with some injuries clearly and 3 years and $100 million left on his contract. Like, that's not a huge return for a guy as young as Simon. So I don't think the Celtics are going to get their future guy, but money wise, they can use that, attach it to somebody and potentially get their long-term center. I just don't think that player exists on the Celtics right now, and it may have to be a trade of some sort.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that, but I would say that I'll be interested to see if they decide that that's a this year project or a next summer project. I could kind of see it both ways. We've talked about the soft tank, and I think not making that move this summer would be a pretty strong soft tank kind of decision. So we'll see.
You may want to let Simons play, and I'm not big into you got to feature this guy, but because I think it's an overrated concept. Everybody scouts these guys. People know the player that Anthony Simons is.
Yes.
However, in this particular case, not to go all Arrested Development, it might work for us, but because he's on a new team and a new situation, new coach, better players, team, I want to say the motivations are a little bit different, but it's just a different situation. There is a chance that he can play a certain way where people go, oh, okay. Maybe it was a Portland thing and not a Simons thing. So there is some value to letting that kind of play out a little bit. I say that as I'm sure now Brad Stevens is going to pull off a trade in the next, but as soon as we're
recording done, early, he'll have a trade pulled off by 7 p.m.
I suddenly have the need to open up my Twitter notifications just to see the Shams tweet. And he's the first one too. Oh no, it's the Phoenix Suns making a coaching hire. Way to mess with me. All right, let's take a second here, and we go similar. Improving bench depth. We're going to come back. We'll take a quick second here. Improving bench depth when we come back. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Make sure you remember that the schedule is changing. So you everydayers, you Monday through Friday folks, thank you so much for being with the show Monday through Friday. I love the fact that you're still with me every Monday through Friday. I see you in the comment section. Thank you so much. Beginning of August, 3 days a week for all of August, all of September, look kind of like the dead period. And then October through the next July, 5 days a week, plus bonus podcasts on times where they play and all of that stuff. Not bonus podcasts unless something crazy happens in Summer League. We can cover Summer League on the Monday show. They play Friday afternoon at 4. So no full podcast, maybe a little reaction video, but nothing crazy. So that's the schedule. I do appreciate everybody kind of sticking with us as the summer rolls on. Okay, Tom, improving bench depth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what we're starting to see a little bit. As I've said before, I feel like Brad Stevens is hitting all the clearance racks. You got a couple of good suits, and no more money. So now you're going to the clearance racks to find your shirts, your ties, your belts, your shoes, and see if you can find anything that kind of works with the suits that you have. And that's the plan to improve bench depth for at least the next few years, because there is going to be a point at some point here in the not too distant future that they're going to have to go full rebuild. We talk about soft tank, call this a build according to Brad Stevens, but a full-on rebuild where Tatum is gone and Jaylen is gone and we're going full Utah Jazz, that's down the road. Until that happens, I think the Celtics are trying to maximize the primes of Tatum and Brown and just finding, can Garza, can Minot, can the next versions of those guys come in and thrive in a different situation.
Right. Yeah. And your Baylor Shiremans, right? Like
That's right.
your other guys that you exactly. Yep. So I think those are that's the targets, man. I mean, that's what we're about to get a look at, right? Is can these guys do it in summer league? Because that I think, I think those guys, that's the biggest value that you could get out of a Baylor Shireman or somebody like that, where it's like, if you picked up somebody in the draft that's cost controlled, that's not, that isn't going to cost you a ton over the next couple of years, the value in that is just going to go through the roof on a team that's as expensive as as kind of capped as this team is.
Okay, so that's kind of like the tone of all of our podcasts. So I think that's enough said there. We're going to go like rapid fire here.
Okay.
Oh, this is kind of like we talked about yesterday. Joe Mazzulla, good and bad this season. I assume, I don't know, Joe, I wrote that down. Joe Mazzulla, good and bad this season. Maybe from this past season. The good and the bad from this past season. Okay. I think, obviously, I think very highly about Joe Mazzulla. I think the good stuff is I do like the approach. I do think that with what he had, the elite players that he had, you had to kind of like let them be themselves. The bad, I think, I would just wish he could have found a way to get them to just do those other little things. Like Brad talked about, like, Gonzalez is a great cutter. And this, to the point where, like, when the Celtics actually cut, I would tweet something during the game, like, oh, a cut and a score. It's my one peeve about this team. It's not the 3-pointers. It's that they don't take advantage of those openings enough. And I think it's because they're just so talented that they're like, I don't need to cut. I just need to get the ball and let me do my thing. And I think that's like a byproduct of having so much talent on your team. I just wish that Joe could have found a way to get those guys to do those little things and understand, like, yes, you're Jaylen Brown. Yes, you're Derek White, but like also those are easy buckets. And if it's, Jayson Tatum too, like those guys, I just wish they would have done those little tiny things a little bit more, because then those habits would have shown up against New York. And I think that would have helped a lot.
Yeah, I think those are fair. I think out for my good, I mean, I think he's done a really good job of like balancing things, right? I think he's done it. Like, I think he did a really good job of trying to balance, like, okay, Porzingis needs a bunch of time off. How do we get him as much time off as he needs? I think that there was, the Celtics need to focus on winning, but then also like understand that like they've played a lot of basketball and they're about to play a lot of basketball. I thought he did a pretty good job of just managing all of the big picture stuff that spanned the last 2 seasons of, championship contending teams. That's not easy to do. That's very difficult to do as a coach. I thought the job he did balancing was good. As far as bad goes, this isn't like a real bad, but do you think he's starting to like lean into the whole Joe Mazzulla bit a little bit more? Like, do you think he's like starting to do it on purpose? Because at first it seemed like he was just kind of like, a little bit of a maniac. And now it starts to seem like, I don't know. Is he, I want to do a situation room with the Bin Laden raid? Like,
I think he says certain things just to like see how people react to them. And he just, I do think there's a little bit of a bit going on.
Yeah.
But I think what's really actually happening is Joe is a little bit more comfortable showing who he is. And he was not comfortable with that in year one. He was more comfortable with that in year two. And now I think he's like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. And I think he is a little bit of a lunatic.
Yeah.
You follow like his wife on Instagram and you just see like every once in a while, she's like, oh, here's another crazy workout toy that my husband got. Or like, she'll just show like little bits of Joe. And you're like, no, this is who he is. And he's just a little bit more comfortable doing it. Like he's showing up on podcasts now. I know he's done this one, but like he's on Julian Edelman's. He was on, was it Pardon My Take a couple of times? Like he loves those guys. Like I think he is just a little bit more comfortable being out there.
I love that then. All right. No, perfect
okay.
coach. No.
I'm going to do one more here. I shouldn't, but I'm going to just,
okay.
This is a little more serious than I wanted to end. Actually, this is more worried. Jalen's knee or Jason's Achilles. Obviously, Jason's Achilles is the answer, right?
Yep.
You know, so that's okay. Let's see if we can get a fun one to end on here. Can Pritchard start at point guard in 26?
Like 26, 27? Or 25, 26?
25, 26. Can he start at point guard? I'm going to say no because it's Derek White's. I think it's Derek, but I don't know. He could. I don't think he's going to be the full-time starter.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think he's going to start.
You think it's going to be Pritchard, White, Jaylen at the 3?
Yeah.
And then, maybe.
That's what I think. I think there's teams where you can get by with having a superior player on the bench because you've got some depth and then like that guy boosts your bench or whatever. I don't think this is that team. I think this team
I do think they need someone off the bench though. I think I'd rather see Derek. I'd rather see Derek, Jaylen, Sam, and then figure out your 4-5 because you still need somebody to come off the bench. I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
You need Pritchard to come in 4 minutes into the game to sub out Derek White, and then you need Derek White to sub out Jaylen and then alternate. So I think you're going to need
ball handling. Yeah.
Pritchard. I think you're going to need that ball. You're going to have to stagger those two as your ball handlers. So that's why I think Pritchard can he to answer the question. Yes, he can.
Yeah.
And will he? I don't think he will because of the substitution patterns. All right.
Real dad answer to end it there. Yeah. I can, but I won't.
Yeah. May you?
May you?
Can you? Can you? You sure? Can you? May you? I don't know. All right. Yeah, that's a good place to end it. So, all right, Tom, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate Tom Westerholm there. Happy birthday to Tom. Tom celebrating a birthday that's in the 30s that I don't care to get specific. I'm shutting his mic off so he doesn't brag about being that much younger than me. That's okay. I'm much more immature than he is, so I make up for that. Thank you so much for submitting these. I still have a big stack here, but if anybody wants to add more, you can tweet me on Twitter or on Blue Sky. You can find me there. Just search my name and send me some more topics. That's fine. I'll work those in as we get into. Maybe I should just solicit those because it's the summer and we're going to need to get some more relevant questions in. But thank you all. I hope you enjoy. The whole point of this is to be random and, not know what we're talking about. It's a little freelance, a little freestyle. So appreciate you being here, listening, being here with me 5 days a week, 3 days a week, starting August and September. So make sure you're subscribed regardless. Get into the comment section on YouTube, share your thoughts there, and then share the podcast with everybody. Tell them they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.